What's up, guys? How was your week? Good? I hope it was, because I can't really hear your answers through the TV. Anyways, this week we're talking about community. Community, a unified body of individuals. That can be tons of things. Friends, our neighborhood, school, and even our church. That's actually what the C in Sea Life stands for, if you didn't know. We were made for community. Humans are meant to interact with one another and to laugh and play and talk to each other. God created some types of animals to be alone, but humans were not made to be that way at all. And actually, a lack of community can drive us literally insane. Part of that has to do with not seeing, hearing, talking to, or being around humans, and it has a negative effect on our mind. In an episode of Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link spend 60 minutes in a sensory deprivation tank. This tank is soundproof, lightproof, and filled with water to take away the touch sensation. So just 60 minutes in the tank is enough to make Rhett go crazy for a moment. So I want you to watch this short video and pay attention to how Rhett acts when he comes out of the tank.
You're alive. Hey, dude. You okay? Red, come out. Come out, dude. Red, snap out of it, dude. For real, you alright? What happened? What was it? Should I do it? What was it like? What? Should I do it?
Do what?
Are you okay?
Do what?
Can you imagine being in that tank? I'm sure I'd have the same reaction as Rhett. I mean, coming out with crazy eyes and just looking super lost. I need community. I love talking to people and being around people, and sometimes I just want to be alone and don't want to talk to people, but most of the time I want to be around people and interact with them. This isn't exclusive to just me, though. We all need community, all of us. So, we were created that way. In Genesis, God created Adam and said man should not be alone. So he created Eve. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, enjoying everything that God had created, and then they went and messed it up. But that's a story for another day. Even Jesus himself had a community. There were tons of people around him at all times, and he had his 12 disciples and his 3 closest disciples. And he understood what community should be like, but don't get me wrong, Jesus took time away from everyone else, from all the crowd, from his disciples, just to have some alone time, some one-on-one time with God. But he never stayed by himself forever. I mean, for him, it would have been much better to be alone all the time. If he was alone all the time, no one would have tried to kill him. He would have been out of sight and out of mind, but instead he chose to live a life in community, knowing someone in his community was going to betray him. Can you imagine how hard that would have been to love someone you knew was going to hurt you? Jesus did that. What does that tell us about Jesus? It tells us that his love isn't dependent on what we do. He chooses to love us no matter what we do. We can learn from that, so don't miss it. Jesus chooses to love people because of who he is, not because of who they are. And that's so different than how we view relationships. I mean, this person lied to me, I don't like them. This person spreading rumors about me, I hate them. This person literally tried to kill me. Jesus would still choose love. Wow, unconditional love. The Apostle Paul tells us a lot about community in his many letters of the New Testament. Galatians 6:2 tells us to bear each other's burdens, struggle alongside them. Hebrews 10:24-25 tells us to think about how we can encourage others to love better and do good things, always meeting with each other on a regular basis and not skipping out. Colossians 3:13-14 tells us to forgive each other and to love unconditionally. Romans 12:4-5 says that we are better together than alone. Okay, Paul, we get it. Community is good. I want a community like that. I think secretly everyone does, even when they don't know it yet. And here's why. Because in the book of Acts, we see what happens when the church is the community it's supposed to be. People eat together, they spend their time together, they love one another, they encourage one another, they pray for one another, and be the literal best group of friends around. This was so different than what everyone was used to. They were used to everyone faking that their lives were great, not letting people know how messed up they were. But when the community of believers, aka the church, did this, the Bible says that the Lord added to their numbers daily. People saw that they were different, and they wanted to be a part of that, no matter the cost. When community is done right, it's irresistible to everyone around it. It's our job to be that perfect community. Do you think we do a good job loving those around us? Better yet, do you? How do you treat the people around you? Do you encourage people? Do people want to be around you because of how you live your life? We are made for community. Shouldn't we try to be like Jesus? Let's be an example of what real community looks like this week. We'll see you next week.